What is up YouTube? And today I'm going to be showing you guys my Plume PvP build that I used for pretty much the entirety of the RTA season, I guess the end of the RTA season when she came out. And I've been finding a lot of success on this build, and honestly you could probably throw her on whatever build and she'd still be very powerful. But I want to talk about, what lattice investments you want to do into her to make her effective, and what kind of stats you should be going on your Plume. So basically, Plume is an extremely powerful character. Surprise, surprise, everyone knows at this point. She is God tier in PvE and also God tier in PvP, and she's really good in every single playstyle. And the reason why is because she dispels buffs up to 3 because she hits 3 times, which is insanely broken. And then she also has a defense down, which is also insanely broken. And this new debuff, weakness, which is going to reduce the damage that you deal by 25%. And surprise, this is also extremely OP. And then we have her passive. So this passive is ridiculous. So basically whenever an ally applies a debuff, she will apply her Curse Quill. And this Curse Quill is her unique debuff that's also going to be applied on her S1, which is AoE. And this will make it so that they take 6% extra damage and reduces their speed by 3 up to 10 stacks. So at 10 stacks, you will go to 60% increased damage taken and 30 speed reduced, which is insanely strong. And then you're going to see that the second part of her passive, to make matters worse, is that whenever an enemy takes a turn, you're going to just get 8% turn meter, not for Plume only, for everyone. So yeah, basically Fushu's Moonlit Veil on steroids, except you're not getting healed, which is a big part about Fushu, but this just makes her very, very overwhelming. She just gives everyone just a crazy turn meter push every single time an enemy takes a turn, and you're also slowing the enemies permanently, so you just start lapping like crazy. She synergizes very well with anything that debuffs, like Freya and stuff like that with Freya's passive, but anything. Like, she synergizes with anything, everything, and like their mothers. So just a really broken character. You can play her with Cleave and CC, obviously, because of defense down and the spells. You can play her in turn 2 because, yeah, still the same thing, just a really broken skill and broken kit. And even against Cleave and CC, she's really good. Against Cleave, she's good because she helps your turn cut to disrupt, same with CC. And the thing is, even if she ends up getting CC'd at the start and you can't really use your skills, you just start outlapping the CCs that they can apply with her passive, which is super hilarious. It just makes her extremely oppressive. So in terms of your skill investment, it really comes down to the playstyle that you play. And what I mean by that is if you're playing turn 1 or turn 2. So I think no matter what, you will want to max this S1 or at least get it to level 4 because you really want the speed prowess for PvP. This will make it so that not only do you cycle faster, but you're able to get your opener off a lot easier. You don't have to take the first turn with Plume, but if you make her fast with her passive, she'll end up cutting and, getting her S3 off, which cripples like every single team in existence. So pretty important to get her S1 to at least level 4. At that point, you might as well get it to level 5, but for Cleave players, it doesn't matter as much. But if you're playing like turn 2, the level 5 is going to be pretty good, although not really necessary because you're not really getting too much benefit from it, but still pretty good. So I'd say level 1, not level 1, S1, at least level 4. Level 4 is probably all you need. Now in terms of her S2 passive, so this you're going to want to pretty much max out. Especially if you're cleaving and playing CC, it's definitely very important to do because you're applying your Curse Quill when it's not Plume's turn a lot more quicker. And this turn meter push is just insanely strong. So this is the skill that I recommend maxing 100%. Now the last level, the extra Curse Quill application, you don't have to do, but it just makes it so that you are stacking it way quicker. In fact, you're not really stacking the Curse Quill as much on her turn as, when you're using other allies with their turn. Now, in terms of her S3, this is up to you. I know some cleavers actually only have this at level 3, sometimes level 4 even, but if you're playing turn 2 Bruiser, you probably want to max this. So all in all, she's a pretty lattice heavy character, but the reason why is because all of her skills are just so OP. So it's not really like you have to max anything on her, like must have to, but it's just that like you're getting so much value out of your lattice on this character over like other characters. That's why it's really good. So that's just my take on it. Honestly, you could probably just randomly put lattice into her and she'll still be very strong. So it's really up to you, but you can just do it however you think will fit with your team and the box that you have. Now in terms of her matrixes and stuff like that, so I have her on a turn 2 setup, and I found this to be the most effective. Bloodbath, Strive, and Swift Smite, and I'm running defense percent, HP percent, and effect accuracy. You don't need that much effect accuracy on her because the fact that you're lapping a lot, and because you are landing your Cursed Quill at 100% chance, even if you're fighting something with like 300% effect resist, this is going to be at worst a 50% chance AoE. So you don't really need too much, you just want to make her tanky because she gets focused down very hard. So because of this, I like Strive. On top of that, when you're on Strive, when you get counterattacked, which will happen all the time because you are just permanently AoEing, you're getting turn meter pushed over and over. So I have her on Strive. Bloodbath is pretty much required on turn 2, and then Swift Smite is her best specialized, 6 set matrix setup. But the 8 matrix, you can go Bulwark, you can go Strive, really up to you. You can even go Swift Rush if you really want. But I think Strive is just like a broken matrix in general, so that's what we're running. Now for your shell, it's gonna come down to either Codex, Jackal Guard, or Dark Moon. Dark Moon gives you extra damage, it makes your debuffs last longer, and more importantly, it gives you this effect accuracy boost. So even though you're building her tanky, you're getting 40% extra effect accuracy, and the turn cooldown on Dark Moon will line up with your S3, which makes it a very good shell. But like I said, Codex works, Jackal Guard works. I think Codex is the worst of the 3. And then Dark Moon and Jackal Guard are just very good on her because they give her extra damage, and they make it so that, you can, 1, you can cycle faster with Jackal Guard, and 2, you get more effect accuracy to land your debuffs on your abilities on your S3. Now in terms of how to pick her, it's very easy. Just first pick her when she's up, and if you're not first pick, you should probably ban her or be prepared to pick against her because she's that strong. Now in terms of what is actually decent into her, I found that Fushu is pretty good because you're proccing the Moonlit Veil with every single AoE attack Plume does. So it's kind of a good answer to Plume. Doki Doki is also pretty good because Plume just applies so many debuffs with her S3 that, you can actually get a lot of stacks of your data stream. You can dispel them all off very quickly. So those are like the 2 best answers. Some people think like counterattacking characters are pretty good. They're like okay. You have to keep in mind though, like Rahu, Holden, and Mizuki, they're all like the counterattacking characters. They all scale with defense. So because they scale with defense, that means that if Plume S3s and you don't have a way to get this defense down off and the weakness, you are barely doing any damage to her. Like barely anything, because the defense down reduces your damage, and then that damage gets reduced even further by weakness. So you have to keep that in mind. Counterattackers aren't really the answer into her, but they can be the answer into her if you have a way to dispel off the debuffs. But in general, just an OP unit. There's no like real character you can pick against her and it's like, oh, I'm at an advantage. Most of the time you're gonna have to ban her, or like pre-ban her or post-ban her, because she's just so oppressive in every playstyle. But yeah, pretty much it for this video. Just wanted to show you guys my Plume and how I have her set up. You're mostly just going for speed on the subs because she just wants to go very fast, and making her tanky with some effect accuracy is what you want. But yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video.